What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the possibility of Stone Cold being approached for a WWE return, a WWE Hall of Famer offers advice to CM Punk, Kevin Owens injured, WWE stars return at live event, The Undertaker wants an AEW star in the Hall of Fame, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at whether Stone Cold has been approached for a WWE return. Our top story today takes a look at the possibility of Stone Cold Steve Austin colliding with CM Punk, and as things stand, things aren't looking good. A few days ago, it was reported that there was belief within WWE that Austin vs Punk could finally happen, now that Punk was back in WWE. However, Dave Meltzer has since discussed the report on Wrestling Observer Radio, and Meltzer claims that Austin hasn't been approached for the match. As soon as that story came out, I heard from a bunch of people who were pretty close in, and they basically said probably shouldn't be doing that one or worrying about that one. Basically, it's not anything that anyone's talked about to any degree. I mean, it could happen and it makes sense. As of right now, he hasn't been approached. He's not in. I'm not saying he won't be, and it's not their direction. It's not saying that like some people thought the same thing you did, hey, maybe we could do it. I would just say it's premature. I wouldn't say it's never gonna happen either. It was widely reported earlier this year that Austin turned down featured matches with both Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Either Austin vs Lesnar or Austin vs Reigns was going to take place at WrestleMania 39. However, due to Austin turning the matches down, WWE went in a completely different direction. Austin previously wrestled at WrestleMania 38 in an acclaimed main event matchup against Kevin Owens. Austin hasn't completely ruled out a return to the ring yet, as his match with Kevin Owens seems like the perfect send-off of one of WWE's all-time greats. Austin vs Punk would deliver huge business for WWE, and there's established history between the two, as the two had an infamous segment on Raw back in 2011, and both were part of the universally praised WWE 13 promotional video, which saw both men cut scathing promos on each other. As always, we'll keep you posted on the latest news relating to Austin, and it will be interesting to see how the next few months of WWE programming play out heading into WrestleMania 40 in April. Next up, a WWE Hall of Famer offers advice to CM Punk. It's still crazy to think that CM Punk is finally back in WWE, and over the past week, numerous WWE legends have commented on Punk's return, and for the most part, most of the comments have been surprisingly positive. WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle is the latest to offer his insight on the Kurt Angle Show, and Angle has offered some smart advice to Punk. It's great news. I'm really surprised he's back. I will say this, if he keeps his nose clean and he doesn't ruffle any feathers, he's gonna have a great time there. He's gonna be really huge for the company. We know that CM Punk can sometimes get himself in trouble. Hopefully he won't. I think he's gonna do really well for the company, and that's a big deal for the company right now to have him back. The Olympic gold medalist also had some wholesome comments to make regarding the return of Randy Orton. Yes, he looks like a superstar. Randy Orton being back in WWE, that's the best news I've heard in a couple of years. I mean, Randy is really special. He's an unbelievably talented individual, and I think WWE really needed him. He does look great. I'm just happy he's back because he really struggled with that surgery. Yeah, it wasn't getting better. He was really frustrated, and I'm just glad that he was able to make it back. Speaking of the Legend Killer, he was confirmed as a new SmackDown signing on Friday night, and it looks like WWE are building towards a showdown between the Viper and the head of the table at the Royal Rumble next month. Next up, could CM Punk's second WWE run succeed his first? There are high expectations of CM Punk's second WWE run, and one notable wrestling personality, that being Eric Bischoff, believes that Punk's second WWE run could be even better than his first. Speaking on Strictly Business, this is what Bischoff had to say. So I'm pretty sure Punk is going to, provided he wants to. Motivation is the core of this, right? If Punk woke up and said, look, I want to have one more really good run, and if he's willing to be a team player, I think he's going to be very successful in WWE. Bischoff continued by saying, he's not going to be able to get away with some of the same kind of silliness, nor will he be exposed to the same kind of backstage environment that he was exposed to in AEW. He's going to have to learn to deal with a more corporate, structured environment. If he's willing, if his intentions are such that he really wants to make this work and be a team player, I think his second run will be better than his first run in WWE. What do you make of Eric Bischoff's comments? Could Punk's second WWE run succeed his first in terms of overall quality? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Kevin Owens injured. WWE have announced that Kevin Owens has suffered an injury. According to WWE, Owens suffered the injury during a SmackDown match with Grayson Waller. Update: Kevin Owens has sustained an injury, fracturing his 4th and 5th metacarpal during SmackDown last night. The common consensus on social media currently is that the injury is a work, and that Owens is completely fine. As things stand, WWE are likely to proceed with the planned Owens vs Logan Paul feud over the US title. Next up, WWE stars return at live event. Yesterday, WWE hosted a live event in Allentown, Pennsylvania. On the show, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson returned to action. The two have been absent for a number of months due to an injury to Gallows. It's been heavily rumored that the two will be back on TV when AJ Styles eventually returns. AJ vs Roman Reigns has been rumored since the summer, and hopefully WWE pulls the trigger on the anticipated match before WrestleMania 40. Footage from fans in attendance shows that Owens' hand was heavily wrapped up, and he was said to be selling the supposedly injured hand throughout the entirety of the match. Next up, WWE commentator changing roles. Booker T has been on NXT commentary booth for some time now. His partnership with Vic Joseph is arguably one of the most solid commentary partnerships in wrestling. Yet on the latest edition of his Hall of Fame podcast, the former world champion addressed a potential role change. When it comes to potentially becoming an authority figure in WWE, Booker confirms that he would take on the new role, but he would ultimately prefer to stay at the commentary desk. It's not something I would want to do, but I would probably do it, just because I'm a team player. It's just another job more than anything. I've always looked at myself like a utility guy. I like doing commentary. If it made me want to do a shift to a GM thing, I would do it. It's just another role. Booker had previously had a stint as an authority figure back in WWE. Back in 2012, he was named the SmackDown General Manager, and Booker did a decent job in the role. Prior success in the authoritative role aside, Booker's best place in the company right now is no doubt at the NXT commentary table. Next up, The Undertaker once AEW star and WWE Hall of Fame. Our final story today takes a look at recent comments from The Undertaker relating to a current AEW star. Ever since Taker retired, he delivered numerous out-of-character interviews, and now that the dead man has his own podcast, the legend is always keen to throw his opinions on wrestlers past and present. One of the wrestlers who the dead man is a huge fan of is Dustin Rhodes, aka Goldust, and on the latest edition of his 6 Feet Under podcast, the former champion was asked if Rhodes should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Absolutely 100%. This is a semantics thing at this point. I would imagine at some point down the road, I think his resume is Hall of Fame worthy. Obviously, we know the one stickler right now, and I think at some point that goes away. Then I couldn't see too much time probably going by that he wouldn't be inducted. The dead man then continued saying he embraced that character. He made it his own. A lot of people talk about me and my character and making it my own, but he did that with Goldust. Dustin comes from the traditional wrestling style too with his daddy Dusty, but to go so far in another direction than Dusty or what Dustin had done up to that point, that's a big roll of the dice. Obviously, Rhodes being an AEW talent would make it hard for WWE to induct him. Nevertheless, when Rhodes eventually retires, it's almost a certainty that the Bizarre One will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Logic would assume that Rhodes' brother Cody Rhodes will be the one to induct him, and this would no doubt be one of the most memorable Hall of Fame inductions in recent memory. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.